Hello everyone, and today is going to be my project pan update. It is a little bit late. This is all the progress that I made in April, and it is now a little bit through May, so it is going to be a little bit different. Either my June update will come a little bit early, or I'll have to figure out a way to time everything correctly, but I am filming this a little bit late, but that's okay. Nothing super exciting happened, and I'm actually going to be rolling in some new products in this video, or at least talking about where I'm going with project panning, because if you've been keeping up with like my Pan Those Eyeshadows videos, I have been kind of feeling burnt out by some project panning, and that's with really focused panning on products like eyeshadow and blushes and things that I like to rotate around a lot. So I'm kind of moving away from the mindset of panning my collection and more towards just getting my collection slimmed down a bit, so that way every product in my collection is something that I will naturally pan, because naturally panning a product and still getting to rotate through things is where I really want to be. So anyways, I will mention that a portion of today's video is sponsored by LookFantastic, and I will get into that before we get into the panning update. But I know my background is different. It's not the prettiest either, but I am in the middle of moving and I can't promise if it's going to get any cuter, but I am going to try at least spruce up the bed a little bit. But like I said, a portion of this video is sponsored by LookFantastic, and I'm really excited to be working with them. So I'm working with LookFantastic for their SPF campaign because May is actually Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and I don't know if I talk about it a ton on here, but I do diligently apply my sunscreen, and I think it's really important to wear sunscreen. I live in Florida and it is so hot here and the sun is brutal, but regardless of where you live, what season it is, you should be wearing sunscreen every single day. So LookFantastic actually let me pick out a few products from their site to share with you guys, and they are running a promotion on their site where you can get a discount off of SPFs. There's a ton of really good brands on there, and I actually went on my friend's Dev's Day Instagram. She is really knowledgeable about skincare, and I just kind of picked through and found products that she really recommended, and I wanted to try them for myself. And I actually have a discount code for you guys if you want to shop. It is an affiliate link, so I do make a little bit of money from it, but there is no pressure to shop, only want to share good discounts. So the first product I was super excited to see on there because I've been looking for something similar to this, and this is just perfect. It's the Color Ease Science Sun Forgettable Total Protection Brush On Shield, and it's a powder sunscreen. So if you take the lid off and you push this down, it's a brush and it has powder down here. This SPF comes right through the brush, and you can just brush it on your skin on top of your makeup and it'll set it down a little bit. They have, I want to say, a mattifying version as well, so it depends if you want something more glowy, more mattifying, but I am really excited for this product. Again, my code is 22% off of Color Ease Science. It'll work for other brands, but I have a different link if you want to buy from Elta MD, which is the brand I was so excited to see on there because Dev's Day raves about them, and I've been seeing a lot about them on Instagram and stuff. Sorry, there's so many planes flying around today. But I picked up two, and they're both tinted, and I've tried the Elta MD UV Daily Broad Spectrum SPF 40 before, and I loved the texture of this. It wasn't too greasy, but it sunk in really easily and gave a nice glow. It is tinted, and for my very fair skin, it did darken my face a little bit, but nothing extreme or I couldn't wear it. Yeah, so I don't know if you're super fair if this will work for you, but I think they have untinted versions as well, and I really like this one. It was nice and moisturizing. And then I also got the Elta MD UV Elements Broad Spectrum SPF 44. So I'm really excited for this one as well. I'm guessing the tint is the same, but I'm gonna be using these so often, keeping one in my purse, whatever, just to reapply, because it's so important to have them over summer, and this one is water resistant. So if you're interested in purchasing any of these, there's no pressure to, but I do have my discount code down below. Make sure you stay SPF'd up. It is very important, and yeah, you need to, especially in the summer. It is so hot out, and I can tell you, when I was home this past week, I was outside for a very long hours at a time, and I did not get sunburned. So the power of sunscreen. So I will link these down below. Thank you, LookFantastic, for working with me. And now into the Project Pan updates. So the first product that I have to update you on is the Bite Beauty powder, and I'm so, like, I feel like I'm making no progress on this, even though I know I am. So it looks like this. I've made progress around the ring. It's getting smaller, but I just feel like this powder is going to be in my collection for at least a few months. I don't know. Let me know, how long do you think it'll take me to finish this? Because it seems like I'm probably going to have this through the summer. I mean, I'm not super mad about it because it is the more mattifying powder that I have in my collection. It's not mattifying at all, but the other two that I have are more glowy. So like, I'm not mad about it. I used it today to like set my cheeks, and I've been using it every time I do my makeup to set my eye primer. So I've been trying to get more use out of it. I'm not sure, I don't know when to repress things, but I'm not going to with this anytime soon. But I don't know. I'm hoping that I can get this done in like 2 months. I don't know, I've never finished a powder before, so sorry that's blinding you, but never finished a powder before, but I'm really hoping that I can get this done by like July. That'd be great, but I'm not really sure. This is the shade Light 1, and I've had this now for almost a full year. So I mean, I use a lot of this powder, especially last year. I would pack on this powder, and I'm just now getting to the end of it, so it is a good value for your money, but I'm just ready to see this one out. One product that I did finish is the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. I'm not surprised about this. I know I'm already gonna get comments about cutting it open. I know that there is none anywhere here, but there might be a little bit right here, and I will cut it open and use it this week, so don't yell at me. I just didn't want to cut it for the video. But this is where I was last month, right here, and I did end up finishing it. I do really like this primer. It's just a nice hydrating primer without being too glowy, but I don't think I'll repurchase it anytime soon just because vitamin C does expire pretty quickly, and I already have the Auric Luminizer. That being said, the Auric one is a little bit dark on me, so I haven't been using it as much, but if a sale came around, I would repurchase this. Probably in the fall winter time, but for the summer I don't need this, and I do really enjoy it, and I would highly recommend it though. So I did manage to use this up. I'm not surprised though. I barely had anything left, and I don't know if you guys have watched my previous videos, but I was gifted this by a friend with only about this much left, so I could try it out, which I'm really grateful for. But I'm glad I got to try it, and I will put it on my wish list for like the fall time when things get a little bit colder. Another thing that I finished up was the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This started smelling so badly towards the end. The stopper has been taken out for a while, but this is where I was at the beginning, and then this is where I was last month. It was kind of a guess because it was really hard for me to see through the packaging or even see on the inside, but I did end up finishing this up, and I think I will miss this concealer. I've been trying out the Dior one, and for whatever reason, it creases so badly on my under eye. I don't know if I need to use less or if I need to use a stronger setting powder, but it's been creasing really badly. And the Kosas one doesn't set that well either because it is so hydrating, but I don't know. I might repurchase this in the future. The only problem I have with Kosas products is I feel like they go badly so quickly. Like, I've gotten so many comments from you guys saying that you got this concealer and within a month it started smelling, so it's not my favorite, but maybe I would repurchase this once I work through some of my other concealers, so that way I could use this one solely. But I do enjoy this concealer. I just don't think it's holy grail. I don't know. I thought I didn't love it as much because it looked weird when I set my under eyes, but then when I rolled this in my project pan, I started really enjoying this, so probably would repurchase this in the far future if I decide that I want to take the risk without it expiring. But that is the second product that I used up, and I'm glad to have it out of my collection. I use it a lot on my cheeks and not a lot on my under eyes, but that's because I just need coverage on my cheeks area. Okay, I forgot to talk about this, but for the Ole Henriksen primer, I am rolling a new primer in, and it's the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Instant Soft Focus Beauty Flash. This is just a like deluxe sample size, and I used it today on my cheeks. It is a super glowy primer. It's also so expensive. Even this little bottle is like $20-something, which is crazy. So I didn't receive this like full. I got it from a friend already like half used up. So I'm trying to get all the air out because this thing is full of air, and I will try and show you guys. I think I can easily get this done within the next month. I'm like about right here. It's hard because I know that there's a ton of air in here, but probably right there in the bottle. So I think I can easily get this used up. I don't need a ton, and I don't like to put it on my forehead or my nose or anywhere because it is so glowy that it would make me look oily by the end of the day. But on the cheeks, it looks fine. I think it is fine, and I will definitely use this up within the next month. Okay, and then the next product is the Ilia Balmy Gloss in the shade Petals. I was so bad about this product. I was in the middle of moving for my dorm and finals and everything that I never remembered to wear this because I don't like to wear it when I'm actually doing things because I don't like the color on me. It just looks weird and it's too pigmented of a color given that it's so light. But I don't know. I'm still going to keep this in my project pan, but I'm not going to stress myself out about using it really quickly. It's just something that by the end of the year I do want it used up. So this is where we were at the beginning. This is where I was last month, but I'm just right below it. That is so crooked. I'm so embarrassed. But don't have much progress on this, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm like halfway through this gloss, which is pretty good considering I do not like this shade. And then sadly, that's all I have in my project pan right now. I don't have a lot because I don't have any products that are old enough to need to be used up, but I'm just really enjoying rotating through my stash. So if you're curious on what I'm focusing on getting usage out of, you should check out my Shop My Stash videos, because that is where I really get use out of products. Like for example, this Tower 28 Beach Please and Magic Hour. I've been making some really good progress on it. It has, I don't know if you can tell, has a decent dip there, but I don't want to put it on this project pan because then suddenly I won't want to use it. And it's just something that when I want to reach for it, I want to reach for it, and I just want to naturally hit pan on it. So I am going to be doing some decluttering over the summer and really getting my collection down to where I'm just naturally using a lot of products. I will still be doing project panning probably next year as well, because with things like complexion products, obviously like I need to rotate through those a little bit more quickly, and I'm fine using the same thing over and over again, but with blushes and bronzers, I don't really want to. I've also considered putting in my like single potted eyeshadows in here, but I rotate through those like naturally on my own pretty regularly. I will pull 2 to 3 every week in my every other week in my bi-weekly makeup stash, so I don't really have a problem with those. I will say I did quit doing Pando's eyeshadows, but I am doing like a 1 week 1 palette, so I will share with you the palettes that I used last month. The past 2 weeks is when I started doing it, but the past 2 weeks what I used and what I'm planning on using this month. So again, I only started doing this for the past 2 weeks, but the first week I chose the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde because I did get this in the Sephora sale, and I'm so happy with this palette. I want to already put it in again. It is just so beautiful. When I first saw it, or like when I repeatedly saw it on Instagram and YouTube, I thought it was going to be too colorful and too pastel for me, but it is actually pretty wearable for me. If I covered these up especially, it's just such a gorgeous palette, and I used this one every time I did my makeup that week, and I was so happy with all of my looks. I didn't even miss my cream eyeshadows, which is something. These shimmers are really unique though. They're almost like a super chalk shadow, but I love them so much. I don't know if you can see, but I have some decent usage out of some of these mattes. This one is one that I put in my rotation, and I really enjoyed the palette still, but the second palette that I chose after using it for a week, I think I'm going to declutter it later on when I do a declutter, and it's the Natasha Denona Glam palette. I know I've raved about this palette a ton, but I just rolled it in and I was just not happy, and I realized that it just doesn't fit my style of makeup. This is what it looks like. I did get decent usage out of this shade, and I made a little bit of a dent in this gold shade, but I don't use these silvers. I really don't use anything on this half of the palette at all. Maybe a little bit of this crease shade, but only because I feel like I should be using it, but I really don't use that half of the palette at all. I never use this dark brown, and so that leaves me with these 6 shimmers and these 2 mattes. This matte I do love. It's my favorite matte eyeshadow that I have because I love the tone. This brown is fairly unique, I guess, but it's just a brown eyeshadow. These shimmers are the reason why I love the palette so much, and this one is a really bold pink, this one is a little bit more subdued, and this one is a really unique grayish colorful shadow. And then I love this gold. It's like an antique gold, and then just a classic chocolate brown. This one's a classic shimmer. Now my problem is I have all of these shades. I'm thinking I'm going to declutter this. I'm going to keep it around for a little bit longer. A lot of you said to keep it around for fall or winter. I'm just not that attached to my makeup, to be honest, and I'd rather get rid of it if I can. And a lot of you suggested rearranging my Natasha Denona palettes, and while I would do that, if I'm going to declutter a palette, I'd rather declutter the whole thing. And there's really no shades that's special enough to keep on. I don't know. A lot of you are probably going to be really offended about that because this is a really great palette, and I do agree. It's just, I don't like dark looks, and I don't like super cool tone looks. I like one shade simple looks, and this palette makes me a little overwhelmed, so I don't know. The palettes that I'm using for the rest of May are these three. I think my Shop My Stash video is going up before this, so a little bit of a spoiler alert, but the first one is the one I'm wearing today. It's the M Cosmetics Divine Skies. I know I'm not decluttering this. And then these other two palettes, again, they're also my favorites. My Pat McGrath Divine Rose 1 is like my #1 palette in my collection, so I just kind of pulled it because I felt like using it. It looks like this, and I'm so excited to continue playing with this month because I really need to get my money's worth out of it, and it's just a gorgeous palette. Definitely an underrated Pat McGrath palette. And then one that I haven't used all that often since buying it is Natasha Denona Gold. I was so excited about this palette and then I've used it like twice, so I need to use it more. Looks like this. Again, a ton of simple browns that'll be great just for every day. And I want to use all of the shimmer shades at least once. So I've used this one up here, which is so pretty. And then I've used this one, which is Lime Chrome. It's that really pretty duochrome. But all of the rest I really haven't used, so I would like to use those and just get more use out of this very expensive palette. So very expensive palettes in my rotation this month, but I'm excited to get more use out of those. I don't expect to declutter either of them, but I'm excited to at least get a little bit of usage. Okay, and that is it for my Project Pan video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will probably, I don't know, I'll have some things used up next month, and eventually I will roll more things into my Project Pan, but really I'm just enjoying what I'm enjoying right now, so I don't feel any pressure to use things up, but of course that'll change as I go along. It's just the mood I'm in right now. Again, if you want to check out any sunscreens or just makeup in general on LookFantastic, I will have my link and code down below if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!